Picture this. I was in college, a government major, which meant one thing: endless papers. Most students, they'd tackle a big assignment like this. They'd start slow, ramp up a bit, and by the final week, everything would be under control. Civilized, right? But for me, my papers always looked like this, every single time. Then came the ultimate challenge, my 90-page senior thesis. This was a project you were supposed to spend a whole year on. I knew my usual last-minute scramble wouldn't cut it. This was too big, so I planned. My brilliant strategy was a steady climb, like a staircase. Start light, build up in the middle, then kick it into high gear at the end. How hard could walking upstairs be? Well, those first few months, they vanished. Nothing got done. So, new plan. Then the middle months flew by too. Still no words on the page. We were officially in crisis mode. 2 months turned into 1. 1 month became 2 weeks. Until one morning, I woke up with just 3 days left. Not a single word written. So I did the only thing I could. I wrote 90 pages in 72 hours. 2 all-nighters. Humans are not built for 2 all-nighters. I sprinted across campus, dove in slow motion, and slammed it in right at the deadline. I thought that was the end. A week later, my phone rang. It was the school. "Is this Tim Urban?" they asked. "Yes," I croaked. "We need to talk about your thesis," they said. My heart pounded. Then they said, "It's the best one we've ever seen." Just kidding. That did not happen. It was, in fact, a very, very bad thesis. But for one glorious second, you all thought I was amazing, didn't you? Anyway, today I'm a writer, a blogger. I run a site called Wait But Why. And a few years ago, I decided to tackle the thing that had always baffled everyone around me: procrastination. My behavior always perplexed non-procrastinators. I wanted to explain what really goes on inside our heads. Why are we like this? I had a hypothesis: procrastinators' brains were just different. So I found an MRI lab. I scanned my brain and the brain of a certified non-procrastinator. I even brought them here to show you. Here's the brain of a non-procrastinator. Looks pretty standard, right? Now here's my brain. See the difference? Both brains have a rational decision maker. But the procrastinator's brain, it also has an instant gratification monkey. What does this mean? It means everything is fine until this happens. The rational decision maker wants to do something productive, something that makes sense. But the monkey, he hates that plan. He yanks the wheel and declares, "Actually, let's read the entire Wikipedia page of the Nancy Kerrigan-Tonya Harding scandal. Just remembered that happened." Then, we're off to the fridge to see if anything new magically appeared in the last 10 minutes. After that, a YouTube spiral. Starts with Richard Feynman talking about magnets, ends much, much later with interviews of Justin Bieber's mum. All of that takes a while. So, no room for work today. Sorry, what's going on here? The instant gratification monkey is not who you want behind the wheel. He lives entirely in the present moment. No memory of the past, no knowledge of the future. He cares about 2 things: easy and fun. In the animal kingdom, this works perfectly. If you're a dog, spending your life doing only easy and fun things makes you a huge success. To the monkey, humans are just another animal. Sleep well, eat well, propagate. In tribal times, maybe that was fine. But we're not in tribal times anymore. We're in an advanced civilization. And the monkey has no clue what that means. That's why we have the rational decision maker. He gives us the ability no other animal has. We can visualize the future, see the big picture, make long-term plans. He wants us to do whatever makes sense right now. Sometimes easy and fun does make sense. Dinner, sleep, well-earned leisure. That's the overlap, the green zone. They agree. But often what makes sense is harder, less pleasant, but crucial for the big picture. That's when the conflict hits. And for procrastinators, the monkey usually wins, dragging us into this orange zone. I call it the dark playground. The dark playground. You procrastinators know it well. It's where leisure happens when leisure shouldn't be happening. The fun here isn't real fun. It's unearned. The air is thick with guilt, dread, anxiety, self-hatred. All those wonderful procrastinator feelings. So, with the monkey at the controls, stuck in this dark playground, how does a procrastinator ever get to that blue zone? That less pleasant but vital place where important things actually happen? Turns out the procrastinator has a guardian angel. Someone who's always watching, always there in our darkest moments. Someone called the panic monster. The panic monster is mostly dormant, but he wakes up instantly when a deadline looms too close, or when there's danger of public embarrassment, a career disaster, or some other scary consequence. And crucially, he's the only thing the monkey is terrified of. This guy became very relevant in my life recently. 6 months ago, Ted called, invited me to give a talk. Of course, I said yes. It's always been a dream of mine to have done a TED Talk. Amidst the excitement, the rational decision maker was saying, "Are we clear on what we just accepted? We need to work on this now." And the monkey? Totally agree. But first, let's open Google Earth. Zoom to the bottom of India, 200 feet above the ground, and scroll up for 2.5 hours. Get a feel for the country. So that's what we did that day. 6 months turned into 4, then 2, then 1. Ted released the speaker list. My face stared back at me, and guess who woke up? The panic monster started losing his mind. Seconds later, the whole system was in mayhem. The monkey. He's terrified of the panic monster. Boom! Up the tree he goes! And finally, the rational decision maker can take the wheel. I could start working on the talk. The panic monster explains all kinds of insane procrastinator behavior. Like how I could spend 2 weeks unable to write the opening sentence of a paper, then miraculously find the work ethic to stay up all night and write 8 pages. This entire situation, these 3 characters. This is the procrastinator's system. It's not pretty, but it works for deadlines. When I wrote about this on my blog, the response was amazing. Thousands of emails poured in, from nurses, bankers, painters, engineers, and yes, lots of PhD students. They all said the same thing: I have this problem too. But what struck me was the contrast between the light tone of my post and the sheer heaviness of these emails. People were writing with intense frustration about what this monkey had done to their lives. If the procrastinator's system works, why were all these people in such a dark place? Then it hit me. There are 2 kinds of procrastination. Everything I've talked about so far, all the examples, they had deadlines. When there are deadlines, the effects of procrastination are contained. The panic monster gets involved. But there's a second kind of procrastination. This happens in situations where there is no deadline. Think about self-starter careers, like the arts or entrepreneurship. No deadlines at first, until you've done the hard work to build momentum. Or important things outside of work. Seeing family, exercising, taking care of your health, working on relationships, or even ending a relationship that isn't working. If the panic monster is the procrastinator's only mechanism for doing hard things, we have a problem. In all these non-deadline situations, the panic monster never shows up. There's nothing to wake him up for. So, the effects of procrastination aren't contained, they just extend outward, forever. This long-term procrastination is less visible, less talked about than the funny, deadline-based kind. It's suffered quietly, privately, and it's the source of immense long-term unhappiness and regret. That's why those emails were so heavy. It wasn't about cramming for a project. It was about long-term procrastination making them feel like spectators in their own lives. The frustration wasn't that they couldn't achieve their dreams. It was that they couldn't even start chasing them. Reading those emails, I had an epiphany. I don't think non-procrastinators exist, that's right. I think all of you are procrastinators. You might not be a total mess like some of us, and maybe you have a healthy relationship with deadlines. But remember the monkey's sneakiest trick? It's when the deadlines aren't there. I want to show you one last thing. This is a life calendar. 1 box for every week of a 90-year life. It's not that many boxes, is it? Especially since we've already used a bunch of them. We need to take a long, hard look at this calendar. We need to think about what we're really procrastinating on. Because everyone is procrastinating on something in life. Staying aware of that instant gratification monkey, that's a job for all of us. And because there aren't that many boxes left, it's a job that should probably start today, or, sometime soon. Thank you.